Welcome to the Somos Sunnyside podcast, brought to you by the Communications Department of the Sunnyside Unified School District. Thank you for tuning in while we share stories about the bright side of education.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to another episode of Somos Sunnyside. That's right, we are Sunnyside, and we have another great episode for you today as we continue to celebrate CTE month in the month of February. So our career and technical education programs, our college and career academy programs at our comprehensive high schools, Sunnyside and Desert View High School, and also at Star Academic High School, where we also offer some career and technical education classes. And so our goal is to really highlight for our listeners, for our students that are going to be transitioning to high school, for our parents helping their children make a decision on what high school they want to attend, is what we have to offer out there, right? In terms of their pathways, in terms of their passions, in terms of what they want to do in the future. And so students and parents, we want you to be well aware of your options, and we have some great options here at Sunnyside. And so I have two very special guests today, and so they join me from Sunnyside High School, and we have the sports medicine teacher, sports medicine instructor here, and her name is Mrs. Johanna Lerma. How are you, Miss Lerma?
Hello, Mr. Gastelum. Good afternoon. We're doing pretty good.
All right, good. So we're off to a good start, and some of you guys may know her as Miss Jo as well. So we'll be referring to her as Miss Jo because that's the popular name out there for her. And she brought also one of her students here who has been in the program for the last 3 years. So we're anxious to hear about what her experiences has been like. And so her name is Destiny Inzunza. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did. Good
All
job.
right. Well, welcome, Destiny. How are you?
I'm good. How are you? I'm happy to be here.
So you're a big bad senior, right, Destiny?
Yes, I am.
All right. So our listeners here definitely want to hear a little bit about sports medicine. What does that look like? In terms of the class. What are the benefits from being in a class like that? And more than anything, we want our listeners to know that it's an option for students, right? It's an option for students, and it can lead you in different careers and provide you some pretty amazing experiences. And so I want to start with Destiny. Tell us a little bit about your journey here in Sunnyside. Where'd you go to elementary? Where'd you go to middle? And now, obviously you're a senior at Sunnyside. So we always talk about the student experience a little bit. So let's start there. Tell us a little bit about yourself. And then when you're done with that, why did you choose to take this class?
Okay, so like you said, I've been a student for Sunnyside Unified School District since elementary school. I went to Mission Manor all the way from kindergarten to 6th grade. And then I went to Sierra 2 to 8 school for 7th and 8th grade. And now I'm at Sunnyside. I've been there for the past 4 years.
Cool. So you've been Sunnyside all the way through, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
That's awesome. Love to hear the story. So was I, way back in the day. And so tell us a little bit about why sports medicine. As there's a lot of options in high schools, right? So when you get to high school, you have so many options based on what academy you want to choose and what pathway you want to take. And you chose the career academy, which is medical allied health. And you chose that pathway. And so tell us why.
Well, for me, I've always been interested in healthcare, and I had an older cousin who was a part of sports medicine's program back in 2014, I think.
Mm-hmm.
She kind of influenced me to join the program.
You can give her a shout out. You can throw her name out there. We're not going to go looking for her.
So Anna Giri, if you're hearing this, thanks for pushing me to join.
Uh-huh.
I've just, like I said, I've always been interested in healthcare, and we have great programs. Also we have our EMS, which is also a healthcare program, but I was more focused on sports medicine because I was torn between being a nurse and being athletic trainer. So I wanted to try out sports med my first year and see how that would work for me, and I loved it ever since I joined. That first year was awesome, and it kept me wanting to keep doing it. So some of the things that we do, we work close with the athletes, and we do traveling, and I think my favorite part is getting to meet new people. We're very open, and we're always meeting new people. Like every day, I feel like it's something new or someone new.
Yeah, so it sounds like, it really prepares you for a lot of different pathways in the medical field, right?
Mm-hmm.
So whether you want to take that pathway of being a nurse, if you want to stay in sports medicine, physical therapy, I mean, I think there's a lot of pathways that you can go in, and so I want to talk a little bit to Miss Joe here. I know Miss Joe, you are a popular teacher on campus, and people love taking your classes. I have a deep respect for sports medicine and athletic trainers, right?
Mhm.
Because they spend so much time on campus and they interact with so many students and student athletes. And so let's start off by hearing, your story a little bit. Where did you come from? Why did you choose Sunnyside? And talk a little bit about your passion for sports medicine.
So I grew up in Douglas, Arizona, a little further south, border town. And I took sports medicine when I was in high school. So I just kind of uh, dwelled in it a little bit when I was in high school. I wasn't as involved. I think I worked like 1 or 2 football games when I was there.
Mm-hmm.
And then once I graduated, I was kind of torn between physical therapy or some type of like occupational therapy or maybe even becoming a chiropractor because I was really good at like popping ankles and
Oh,
like
there you go.
massaging my mom's feet.
All
But
right.
I
Are
think,
you for hire?
maybe. Once I got to NAU where I did my undergrad in Flagstaff, I got to see a little bit more of that like physical therapy side and the athletic training side, and I was kind of leaning more towards athletic training. So that's when I decided to apply to their master's in athletic training program, and I just fell in love with it. And then after I graduated from NAU for my master's in 2020, when COVID hit, of course, I was already down in Tucson doing my internship at CDO High School, and I was looking around to see what was opening up in Tucson because I wanted to stay here kind of close to family. I saw Sunnyside was open, and I was like, this is a great opportunity for me. I get to use my Spanish a little bit. I get to connect with the community. I just felt like Sunnyside was a really good fit for me.
Well, we want to say you chose very wisely, and we're very lucky to have you here in Sunnyside. So thank you for choosing us. It really aligns with our slogan, what you're talking about. If you're on our website, it's you will love SUSD, and don't believe us, just watch, right? And so that's the proof is in the pudding, as they say. So tell us a little bit about like what courses you offer in sports medicine. How many courses is there? What levels? What are the benefits? What does that look like for students? When you go from year 1 or year 2, year 3. So I want to hear from Miss Joe here, and then we'll go back to Destiny to tell us a bit about your experiences as now you're in your 3rd year, right?
Mm-hmm.
So let's start with that, Miss Joe. What are the courses for the parents listening out there, for the students that may be interested in going this route? What can they expect?
So yes, sports medicine is a 3-year program. Year 1 is very content heavy on like anatomy and physiology and just learning the body, learning how injuries work, learning how to tape. And then year 2, we start getting more into the lab type things where students start to do things like modalities and getting to treat athletes a little bit more and learning how things work and getting to experience it themselves too, because I think that's a big part of working in healthcare. You need to know what these treatments feel like so you can be able to explain to your patients what they should be feeling or what is actually happening to them and being able to communicate in that way. And year 3 is their internship route where they get to do everything hands-on themselves. They're treating athletes under the supervision of our athletic trainer, but they're using everything that they've learned in year 1 and year 2 in real time.
So they're totally hands-on in year 3.
Mm-hmm.
That's awesome. And so, Destiny, tell us a little bit about, your experiences and your journey as you've gone through level 1 to level 2, and now you're in year 3 of sports medicine. So tell us a little bit about that.
So the first year, like she said, it's very like content heavy, and I don't know why, but I love learning about anatomy and like physiology. So I think I kind of just was so comfortable with learning that stuff that I was like, okay, like I want to keep doing this. So the first year, I was a little shy, but I don't know, like I said, I was just ready to like get into learning everything that was sports med related. And so my second year, once we started doing more of like the labs and the modalities, it was like, okay, so this is hands-on, this is how it works. And it was fun. Like I said, you meet a bunch of different athletes and new people. And you never know what kind of athletes you're going to deal with, when you're working on the game and something happens and you got to be like really fast and be able to like know what injury you have to deal with or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then the third year, but yeah, like she said, super hands-on. We don't there's less work. We still do like some journals every week. But for the most part, yeah, it's pretty hands-on the third year. And it's opened my eyes to a lot of new opportunities. It's helped me get into JTED as well. I'm also a student there. And it's helped me just prepare myself for my future career goals.
Nice. Well said. It's funny you said fast, and one of the things I think a lot about, and that I have observed when I go to some of these games, whether it's a football game or a wrestling event or a soccer game. I mean, and there's an injury on the field. I see how quick you guys get out there, right? And I always see, the student. I don't know if we're calling them student trainers, but the students in sports medicine, which I'm assuming are their year 3 students, are running out there and treating the injury right away. And so I think one of the questions I have is, there's the study part of it, the content part of it, where you're learning all this new terminology, you're learning how to treat patients. But when it actually happens, boom, you have somebody in pain, you have somebody on the field, and somebody that needs your help. Talk a little bit about that. I mean, it's got to be a rush, right? It's got to be some sort of rush. And how do you remember, like, your training just kicks in, is I think what you're going to say, because I think that's your common answer when people say the training just kicked in, right? So is it like that, or is it not like that?
It kind of is, yeah, I'd say, because we have our athletic trainer, Miss Hannah, with us at all the games. So it's I kind of follow what she's doing, and then it's if I know how to do with it, then I can do it on my own. So if it's something as simple as a cramp or something, I'll go and get if they need a heating pack, or if they need an ice bag, or even if they need pickle juice, I'll run to that snack bar and get them the pickle juice. And yeah, I like you said, I feel like it just kicks in. You kind of just once you see it, you're okay, I need to do this and I need to get it done now.
I feel like you just diagnosed me. I get those cramps, and I'm not an athlete any longer, but shoot, I gotta stock up on some pickle juice or something, right? All right, so we're gonna take a quick break. But we're going to be right back with these 2 awesome individuals and tell you a little bit more about sports medicine at Sunnyside High School.
You will love SUSD. Don't believe us? Just watch. In Sunnyside Unified School District, students dream big, learn boldly, and grow confidently. From hands-on STEM and arts programs to student athletes earning athletic scholarships, Sunnyside District gives every student a place to shine. Enrollment for the 26-27 school year is now available. Enroll today at susd12.org.
All right, we are back. And again, we got Miss Jo here, sports medicine instructor at Sunnyside High School. And we have Destiny, senior at Sunnyside High School, who's been in this program the last 3 years. And so, one of the things I want to ask a little bit about, because I know this program definitely prepares you for a little bit of everything, right, when it comes to the healthcare field, depending on what path you want to go once you go post-secondary. And so, Destiny, tell us a little bit about, is there industry certifications that you can earn? Or Ms. Jo, if you want to talk a little bit about that, or both of you can jump in and tag team this question of because I think a lot of times our students, they know very well that in our career technical education programs and the pathways we have, that many times you can earn industry certifications, you can do some sort of work experience or internship, and in some cases we have dual enrollment, right? And so tell us a bit about what students can take advantage of.
So for our sports medicine program, each year has a specified industry certification that they can earn. Our year 1 students earn a general healthcare OSHA 10 certification, and they can use that wherever they apply to work. It doesn't matter if it's fast food or if they're working at a hospital. It doesn't expire, so they've done that safety and health training to get that out of the way. And then their second year, they do our BLS certification, and both EMS and sports medicine are really great about pushing BLS because it's really an important skill to know. And then year 3 students also get a chance to do a physical therapy technician certification.
Oh, awesome.
So right after high school, they can go and apply to work at a physical therapy clinic and start getting paid.
That's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, and you know, and that's what we offer here at Sunnyside. I mean, think about it. I mean, some people have to go to college to earn these certifications and go through certain programs, and you know, you guys are coming out of high school with these certifications. And so how many of our students, you know, and I don't need a number, but you know, what's the trend, you know, in terms of our students that are finishing through the program, go through year 3? What are you seeing that they're doing as they move forward with whatever they're trying to accomplish in life?
A good chunk of students end up pursuing careers in healthcare, and a lot of that requires additional schooling.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll go to PIMA and try to get their prerequisites. I have a few that are going to the U of A or NAU, studying in pre-med or some type of like kinesiology. Even our more technical schools like PMI, they're doing medical assisting, nursing assisting. So they're trying to stay in the healthcare field.
Yeah, for sure. And so Destiny, let's talk a little bit about your goals. Like, what do you, when you graduate, what do you hope to accomplish? I'm assuming that you're earning these industry certifications as well. So it sounds like you're going to have some options, and that your student experience has been a pretty productive one, right? So tell us what are your goals? What are you planning on doing after high school?
So after I graduate, I'm still undecided on where I want to go, but I'm kind of leaning towards more going to PIMA, going to PMI, and doing my, getting my BSN eventually. So I'll do my first 2 years at PIMA and then hopefully transfer to the U of A and get my BSN.
Okay, what is BSN? Let's, for those people that don't know out there, I know, believe me, I know what BSN is, but for those that don't know what BSN is, what is it?
My Bachelor's of Science in Nursing.
Okay, that's exactly what I thought it was. So there you go. So talk a little bit about your you know, continue telling us about that journey.
Yeah, so after, well, I plan on being a pediatric nurse, so hopefully once I have that degree, I'll start applying. And now that I'm in JTED, I also have my certified phlebotomy technician certification. So once I turn 18, I can work in a clinic and, you know, do blood draws. And I'm also working on getting my certified clinical medical assistant certification as well. So I feel like those are just really gonna, you know, push me and help me get where I want to be.
That's super impressive. I mean, it sounds like you're gonna have a bunch of options, huh? Because, you know, unfortunately, there's always sick people, right? And I don't mean to be Debbie Downer here, but you know, there's always people that need support, right? And so it sounds like, you know, I love to hear that you just speak so confidently, and it sounds like you've had a plan all along, right? And so that's intentional. I think that is goal setting. That is, you know, following your passion, your purpose, and it sounds like you got a bright future. And so one of the things I want to talk a little bit about too is HOSA, H-O-S-A, HOSA. We hear that a lot, and we're just full of acronyms today, and it stands for Health Occupation Students of America. Is that correct?
Correct.
All right. So you know, I know for our high school students, there's a process in how they qualify to go to this International Leadership Conference, and so you had the opportunity, Destiny, to go to this International Leadership Conference last year in Nashville.
Correct.
Is that correct? And so you got to go compete. Is that what it is? So tell us a little about that experience. And what is one? You know, how do we qualify for that? Like, you know, which students qualify for that? And you guys can both jump in and tell us a little bit about that. And then we'll have Destiny tell us a little about her experience when she went to Nashville this past summer.
So all of our HOSA students that choose to be part of HOSA, get the opportunity to compete in any competition they'd like, and they have a variety of like skill-based competitions, or maybe more leadership-based, maybe teamwork-based. And then depending on the competition that they choose, there's 3 different routes. You can do a online testing route. So if you're top 10% in the state, you get to qualify for State Leadership Conference, or SLC. There's a regionals route that we're gonna actually head into tomorrow. So she's competing for next year already. And if you get top 7 there, you qualify for state. And then they have a few like straight to state events. But to qualify for internationals, you need to get top 3 at state. So only those top 3 get to go and travel.
So as you qualified last year for International Leadership Conference in Nashville, and you know, as Ms. Cho's explaining, you need to be a top 3 in the state to qualify. What was the area that you qualified in?
I tested for epidemiology.
And that means?
I honestly, when I picked it, I had no idea what it was. I kind of just went in there like blind-eyed. It's basically like the statistics and like the number side of like diseases and like illnesses like over the years, like as they grow.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yeah. All right. So you had to do a lot of studying, research, and homework, right, about that. All right. So what was that experience like for you? So when you got to Nashville, besides Nashville being a cool place, right? I mean, what was that experience like for you as a student? Because I'm sure there was a lot of students there.
It was cool. Yeah, we were at a convention center in Nashville. There was so many other people there, like people from all over the world. So I met so many different people from like Korea, like China, from different states in the United States. It was really fun, actually. We got to go to like a water park as well that was like paid for by the school, and we got to like trade these pins. We like get a pin, like every state has their own, so we voted on these pins for Arizona. We got to trade those. I have a whole lanyard full of like pins from different states, which is pretty cool. And yeah.
It's kind of like the Disneyland thing when they exchange all the pins.
Yeah, a little bit like that.
It was the host of Disneyland, right? So there you have it, folks. I mean, I think, and you know, Destiny's one of probably many students in different programs that has qualified for HOSA. I know we had some students qualifying for the Emergency Medical Services program. And, you know, it's so cool to see our kids excel and you know and go compete, you know, nationally, and that's what's happening here at Sunnyside and you know at our other high schools as well through these amazing programs. And so what message do you guys got for students, you know, if for those students and parents that are interested in coming to Sunnyside High School, maybe going through the Medical Allied Health Academy or even sports medicine, like what message do you have for students or parents, right, for that matter? Because I know parents are very involved in helping their children make this important decision. And so what would you guys say to them?
I'd say if anything that any program that you're interested in, if you feel like it might be right for you, just try it. You never know unless you do it. And you know, just don't be afraid to put yourself out there. Don't be afraid to chase your goals, because only you know that you can get it done. Don't be too hard on yourself, and just like, if you believe you can do it, then you can.
Nice, nicely said. Ms. Jo, you want to add anything to that? Parents, what they can expect, what that experience could be like for their kids?
Joining any of our medical allied health or any of our CT programs, really, like the opportunities are there. Students just have to try and put themselves, give themselves an opportunity to try new things, and they'll go far.
Absolutely. The sky's the limit, right? And so we have great students coming out of Sunnyside High School doing great things. You know, you got the graduation rates there are higher than they've ever been at 90%. And so some great things are happening academically. I know at Sunnyside we're also known for being very competitive with our athletes, right? Our sports are kicking butt, right? And so, but sometimes what doesn't get enough credit is the student athlete or just the academic side of it, right? Where our students like Destiny are excelling in these amazing programs and have bright futures. And so for those families out there that are thinking about going to Sunnyside High School or even Desert View High School, pay us a visit, give us a call, give us an opportunity, you know, come out and see what great programs we have, to offer. I mean, there's other programs that offer a lot of dual enrollment. So our students are coming out of high school, graduated from high school, with a lot of college credits under their belt. And so that's such a plus, as we move forward. And so anything else you guys want to add? I mean, I think you guys covered a lot. You gave our listeners a really good understanding about sports medicine and the career academies at Sunnyside, specifically medical allied health here. But anything else? Any shout outs? Is there teachers that really have impacted your journey as a student? And so what would you say to that?
I'd say Miss Jo was a really big inspiration for me, not just because I was in sports medicine, but because she's always pushed me to do my best. She's the reason that I push myself a lot, actually, because she believes in me. And Mr. Cootie as well, the EMS instructor at Sunnyside, he's great. He's a great listener, and if you ever need some random facts, he'll give them to you.
Yeah.
And they're just amazing teachers, and overall, but not just them, but we have a lot of amazing teachers at Sunnyside.
Awesome. And so we didn't pay her to say that. That comes straight from the heart, right, Destiny?
Yes, it does.
And so, as she's saying that, Ms. Jo is glowing over here. And we have some amazing teachers that deeply care about students at Sunnyside High School and all of our schools for that matter. And so, once again, I want to thank you guys for coming on to the show. If you don't have any last shout outs or anything else you want to add, is there anything else?
Thank you for having us today.
Yeah, I think that's it.
Absolutely. Thank you for being here, and for those listeners out there, hit us up. I mean, we want to definitely show you what we have to offer, and what you'll get is a great experience. What you'll get is students that are prepared, and you heard it here. I mean, our students are coming out not only industry ready because they're earning certificates, they're college ready, and they're coming out with choices, which is most important thing, is having choices as you graduate from high school. And so with that, we're going to end this episode of Somos Sunnyside. Hasta la próxima. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Somos Sunnyside. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found it entertaining. If you liked what you heard, don't forget to subscribe and share our podcast with la comunidad. For updates on future episodes and more, be sure to follow us on social media and visit our website at susd12.org. We appreciate your support and can't wait to have you back for the next episode. Hasta la próxima vez en Somos Sunnyside.